Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Nick Hausman Show. And welcome back to another episode of the Nick Hausman Show. I am your host, Nick Hausman, as always, and I am here to talk to you about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, politics, pop culture, pro wrestling, any kind of punditry that I would like to produce. I'll put it out. Because this is my section of the internet. These are my airwaves, and you all are a part of the ride. We're making a few shift arounds this week. We're going to try to improve the show for you guys. We're going to try to make the show better every single week. So here's some things we're doing that we've done in the past. Here's some new things that we're doing. What we've definitely done in the past, what we're doing this week, is I'm going to do an interview. I got a great guest on this week. His name is Kevin Pomeroy, Chicago comic, a former roommate of mine, good buddy, one of my best friends, and we're just going to talk about, like always, part one with my interviews, a little bit of him growing up, how he found comedy, how he found Chicago. How did this all happen? How was Kevin Pomeroy set forth onto the world to do laughter onto others? What is Kevin's story? So we're going to talk to Kevin, part one of that. Heads up, about 24 and a half minutes into his interview, we lost him on Skype, so there's a little funny bit at the end where I actually recorded a phone conversation for the first time. So that is, you can listen to our foibles and enjoy yourselves and laugh. Also, typically at the top of the show, I have been doing the social networking stuff where I comment on all the stuff going on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and wherever else on the internet about the Nick Hausman Show. I've been talking about that at the top of the show. We're going to now put that at the end of the show. So after the interview, we're going to come back. I'm going to do the wrap-up. And during the wrap-up, I'm going to talk more about the Twitter and Facebook stuff. Because the last time I just felt it went on a little long talking about all that stuff at the top of the show. So I want to get to the interviews quicker, and I want to not be so forced and rushed to go through all the great tweets and Facebook banter I get in with you guys every week. And of course, if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's facebook.com, or like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Nick Hausman Show, and then over on Twitter at Nick Hausman Show. And of course, just type in on YouTube, the Nick Hausman Show. And please, guys, if you like the show, if you're saying to yourself, man, Nick, these are getting better and better, you're getting crisper, you're getting more loose, more relaxed, you're not cursing so much. It's pointed out to me that while I am a profane person, the profanity may have gotten a little out of control in the last show. So we're going to try to work more towards making this a show that possibly you can have on in the room while, your 12-year-old is playing an Xbox or whatever the hell kids do. See? I said hell. I said whatever the hell they do. It's different. We're improving every day, step by step. Also, on the show today, we are debuting something that I may never directly reference again at the top of the show. So this may be the only time. You might want to catch this now. I'm a big fan of hidden tracks on albums. I love them. My favorite one is the Counting Crows, believe it or not. After long... It's not Long December. I think it might be. Anyway, at the end of one of the Counting Crows albums... Oh, it's Cadillac. Oh, God, I got to look this up. I'm so ill-prepared for this. Let's see real fast. Counting Crows, Beauty of the Internet, hidden track. And it is from The Desert Life. Yes. It's called Kid Things. And it's a great song. It's one of my favorite songs, and you can only find it if you wait till... something Cadillac, and it's something Cadillac, but you got to listen to the end of that song. So on my show here today, we're going to debut a segment called The Overrun. So if you stick around, it's going to be, I don't want to say a 3-minute gap, but there'll be a little break after the final song plays, and you'll see that there's more left on the YouTube, and you're going to say, wow, Nick just created too long. No. There is a bonus segment that is now going to be a part of the show. It's called The Overrun, and it's just going to be me and my guest from episode 3, Darin Fentress, talking mostly pro wrestling. We used to do a pro wrestling show together called One Trick Pony, OTP, and we loved it. We just got really overcomplicated with it. You can find some One Trick Pony episodes on the internet over on YouTube. Go look up One Trick Pony if you want to see two guys that just put way too much time into a wrestling web show. Yeah, and if it gets enough traction, people tweet enough about it, you want to start tweeting, OTP or One Trick Pony at me and say, I want that to come back. Maybe the Overrun will evolve into something more. But for right now, it's just a fun I think we did 15 minutes of just talking some random stuff that's been on our mind about the world of pro wrestling. All right, so let's get to this week's little rant. My rant this week is about the Steve Harvey Show. Now, many of you out there who have been listening to the show know that for the past few episodes, I've really been building this up. I was contacted by a friend. Actually, a friend posted something on Facebook saying that they were looking for singles to be on the Steve Harvey Show. And I'm a single guy in Chicago, single guy in Chicago. So I said, well, I can at least pull this off to the point where maybe I can meet Steve Harvey out of this whole deal. So I submitted my info to where they said, and they got back to me pretty quick. They asked me to fill out a questionnaire, which I did. And then they asked me to do a Skype interview with one of the producers. And so I did that, and I actually, for whatever reason, they recorded it, and they accidentally sent it back to me the night before the day I was supposed to shoot a few days ago. So I actually have the audition I did for the Steve Harvey Show. It's about a minute and a half, and I'm going to post it on my YouTube page to go along with this episode, so you can also check that out. So I did this interview with the Steve Harvey producer, and they really liked it. I thought I was so excited to be talking to a Steve Harvey Show producer because I've said it many times. I love Steve Harvey as the host of the Family Feud. I never really got to the Steve Harvey Show. I've seen him. He's a little preachy on his podcasts and his other stuff, so I don't know that. But, man, Family Feud. He is a great host on the Family Feud. Love Steve Harvey as the host of Family Feud. So I want to be around that man who wears such stylish clothes and has such a rocking mustache because I mustache him some questions. I love that joke. Anyway, so I talked to the producer. They're like, hey, you did really well. We're going to be in touch with you. You're definitely going to be a part of the episode. And I was like, great. So that gets turned over to another producer. I hear back from them a few days later. They're like, yeah, we're thinking about actually possibly featuring you on the show, which would mean we'd kind of send a camera crew like out with you or something like that. I don't know what it meant, but it meant that I would get more airtime. It meant that I would be a more central focus of the show. They liked Nick Hausman that much. They were like, you're a single guy to watch in the city. So, ladies, if you're listening, I'm a somebody to them. So I go about my life, and it's getting closer and closer to the show. Now, one of the things that it happened, and I want to say this out front, is I have a friend who works near the Steve Harvey Show and is friends with the one of the producers who's actually working on the project of getting me booked and featured on the show. And another one of our friends, Brittany, had applied to be on the Steve Harvey Show as well for the singles episode. And I guess the producer working on the show had asked my other friend, do these two know each other? And my friend adamantly told the Steve Harvey Show producers repeatedly, yes, Nick and Brittany went to school together. They went to Loyola together. So they knew this. And with that knowledge of my friend getting asked that, they told me, Nick, there's a chance that you might be going on a blind date with Brittany on the show. It's that's what the producers asked about. I was like, that's fine. Brittany is a beautiful girl. That's just going to make me look good. And also, no pressure to actually be on a date since I know this person, and I can focus my attention on the real goal of doing the Steve Harvey Show, and that's meeting and hanging out with Steve Harvey, doing something, maybe even asking him to be on the Nick Hausman Show as a guest. I'm very charming. I think I could have maybe won him over and make that happen. So anyway, I get the call literally a few days before. It was this past Saturday, I think there was the taping, saying you've been picked to be featured. We're going to tell you more when you get there about what that means. Just dress nice, be ready to go. And they asked me if I was comfortable doing karaoke. And I said, yeah, I can. I know all the words to American Pie, which is true. And you can, if you want to stop me on the street or send me a Twitter or whatever, I will sing all the words to the Don McLean original. I think it's like 10.5-minute song, American Pie. I know every word to that song. So I thought that I was going to be doing some karaoke or they were setting me up to look like some kind of fool or something like that. You know what I mean? And I didn't care. That's fine. That's the kind of person I know that Steve's going to want to have a sit-down conversation with. And again, optimal goal meeting Steve Harvey. So I get to this. To the shoot on Saturday. It's down at Navy Pier. It's in this beautiful grand ballroom, and there's like literally 500 guys, 500 girls, and I find out that what they're trying to do is set the like world's record for the world's largest blind date. Ooh, exciting, right? All these couples are going to meet and drink water and talk in this big room, and they've got all the guys on in one half of the building and all the girls in the other half of the building. So you don't actually see the women. And I'm over there with the guys, and I show up and I give my name, and I was told to tell you I'm a featured dater, and they were like, "Oh, we know exactly who you are. Wait here." They went and got another producer. The producer got me, brought me upstairs. They took me to the side. They kind of ran me through everything. They're like, what we're going to be doing is you're going to be on a date with this girl. Oh, she's beautiful. Her name's Brittany. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be Brittany. But I know. Keep your mouth shut. You got to play the game with these people and let them think, because they probably know. I mean, they know. They just want me to pretend like I don't know. To the degree that they said, what are you going to talk about on the date? And I was like, oh, I know, you guys don't want me really talking about being a comic or comedian, so I was kind of talking about, jobs and stuff. And she's like, do you like sports? And I was like, no, not really. She's like, today you love sports, right? And I was like, oh yeah. She's like, you're a huge Bears fan, right? And I was like, I love the Bears. Love the Bears. Love the Cubs. Love the Texans. I am a football guy. That is what I do. And she's like, good. I just want to make sure you're going to play ball with us. And that's what kind of irked me, okay, about what happened later. But she said, I'm glad you're going to play ball with us. And I was like, yeah, I'll play ball, whatever. I've done commercial work. You're not supposed to know that. And so I go about this. I go sit in that room. I wanted a cup of coffee, and all they had was these giant jugs of water. And again, there's like literally, and it took forever to get registered and metal detected and all this shit. But there's like 500 guys there, and I'm one of the top 4. I'm a top 4 featured dater of these 500 guys. Top 4. Let's do the math on that. So that's 2 and 250. So for every 125 guys in that room, I am number 1. I am a featured dater. To the degree I walked up to a producer, I said, is there any chance I get a cup of coffee? I don't see any coffee here. And they were like, oh, we need to get Nick a cup of coffee. They sent somebody to get me a cup of coffee because I was like a somebody, okay? So then they walk us into this grand ballroom, and they take me over to where my seat's going to be. There's like all these tables in the room, tons of tables everywhere. Everybody's going to be coupled up, and everybody's going to be talking at these tables for like 45 minutes. And they take me to the front of the room. I get my own private camera. There's like a big rig. And then they give me this headpiece and this microphone. And they tell me Steve Harvey's going to be talking to me during the date. And when he talks to me, to look right into the camera and talk back to him because he's in the studio. Dude, that's so cool. Steve Harvey's going to be talking to me on a date. He's going to be talking to me, and I'm talking back to him. This isn't just like meeting Steve Harvey. This is interacting. I am now a featured player on the Steve Harvey Show. I'm this close to being his equal. I'm so close, and you can't see my fingers, but I'm making that motion like I was so close. So anyway, they take me then over to hair and makeup. They put makeup on my face. They went and bought a new shirt for me because they're like, the girl's dress is black, your shirt's black. We went and bought you a new shirt. They got me a new shirt. They put gelid crap in my hair, and I hate that shit, but whatever. They want me to look a certain way. I don't care. I'm so happy right now. And then, sorry, I took a drink of water. And then I walk back over to the table, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, they're like, okay, we're about to let all the girls in, clear the floor. And there's like, again, like all these guys there, and they're about to let all these girls in. And this producer, the lead producer, she frantically walks up to me. She goes, do you know this Brittany girl? I go, well, what do you mean? She goes, did you go to college with the Brittany Havoc? And I was like, yeah, but you guys knew that. And they're like, we didn't know that. Brittany saw a picture of you on my clipboard before we walked in and said, oh, that's Nick. Did he also get featured? And Brittany kind of blew it. And I don't want to say I don't think she did it on purpose. I think it was something like that where she was just like, oh, look, Nick also got featured. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. But I got ratted out to this one producer. And again, I wanted to say the producer's name who knew that I knew Brittany to her face. Because what happened was they said, well, you're not going to be a featured dater anymore. They're actually going to put me in the back with the other 125 guys because they had already filmed this stuff with Brittany, like a lot of like vignettes. The episode is really more about women dating on blind dates and the horrors of going on a blind date or the joys of going on a blind date. But it wasn't from a male perspective. It was supposed to be from her perspective. So I get the downgrade, of course. And I just said to him, look, I mean, I'm in hair, I'm in makeup. You bought me a shirt. I want to talk to Steve. That's not going to happen. You guys have got me up so high. I kind of just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. And they said, well, we can't force you to stay, but you know, if you stick around, we'll do an episode of the Steve Harvey Show. You can be featured on that, and you know, you could do a dating thing on the Steve Show. We really like you. And I was like, honestly, I don't know that that's going to happen. You know, burn me once like you did now. You know, shame on you. You know, but if it happens again where I got burned twice, that's shame on me. I just look stupid, and they're not paying me for this. They gave me a gift bag. The gift bag, by the way, nothing great. The only things I want, and I did, I said, you know, thank you I wasn't a dick about it, but I was like, you know, thank you. I don't think this really works out. I'm just going to save the rest of my day. It was still 1 or 2 o'clock, and I'm just going to go home. So I shook their hands, shook everybody's hands. They were getting very apologetic. I went to got the gift bag. I got a coupon for a free box of pretzel dogs. And what was the other thing? There was a cleaning rag for my phone. And I think there was one other thing. Oh, it was men's hair. No, I didn't take the hair gel kit. Was that it? I think that was it. I just took the cleaning wipe and the pretzel. And then when that's the best of the gift bag that you're sitting around all day for, guys, you know, why am I going to sit around? I'm not going to find love on that show. I'm not. I go on dates. I don't need a reality show to help me get laid, you know. But with that in mind, it was an enlightening experience. It was another cold lesson in the realness of the entertainment industry, of which I have had the pleasure to be a part of for many years now. And it's what happens, guys. You know, it's the way of the world. I was a little bummed about it, but you know, in retrospect, I got a good story out of it. And maybe someday, if I ever do meet Steve Harvey in person, I could tell him this story, and you know, maybe we'll go get a drink together and laugh about it. And also, on another note, it was kind of cool to just kind of see the inner workings of a reality show. You know, what is reality TV about? How do people get set up and stuff like that? You know, being told, oh, you're a Bears fan. Okay, well, I'm a Bears fan now. Matt Forte, Cutler. Yay, I love those guys. Bear down. Urgh. So it was an experience. I'm not going to be on the show, sadly. But again, maybe down the road, maybe you'll see me on something else on TV. Maybe not playing some single dopey white guy on a Steve Harvey reality show. All right, guys, and so that was my rant for this week. Went a little longer than I expected, but you know, that's fine. I gave myself a little bit more time at the top, and you guys are gonna have some more time to hear the Twitter stuff at the end. So let's get to the interview now. Kevin Pomeroy is a ensemble member of the Comedy Sports Chicago Theater. He is also the founder of the Stevens Family, a performer and writer for the late-night talk show Talk Hard, also Comedy Sports. He's a stand-up comic. He performs at such places as 100 Proof Comedy. He has a 2-man sketch show that has toured throughout the country called Man 1, Man 2. He and I were a part of a show at one time called Cocktail Hour. He's also I think he's done some Chicago Improv Rebellion shows. I'm fairly certain he has. I'm going to just go ahead and say he did. There was a lot of people there. It was kind of a blur. And he is a Second City, Chicago graduate. At this time, I'm going to kick it over to my guests, Kevin, Nick, take it away. Gentlemen, my guest at this time is my good friend, my former roommate, as I've mentioned at the top of the show, Kevin Pomeroy. Kevin, thank you for coming on to episode 5. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's weird you can see me because I have a web camera set up, but you don't have a web camera set up, so I can't see you.
I know. I'm just watching you.
It's weird. I'm not doing anything weird, right?
No, but am I? You'll never know.
Oh, frightening. All right. Well, let's jump in. Let's jump into this. Let's do this. I gotta set my timer. I don't even have a pen and paper set up, man. I'm blowing this right now. This interview, I'm blowing it.
You're more organized than I am. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. Well,
it's my first time using Skype.
Oh, really? Ever?
I've never used it. Yeah.
Huh. It's fun. It's different. You know. It's nice. I use Skype sometimes to talk to people overseas and things like that.
You know people overseas?
I used to know people overseas. It was this chick in England that I knew, and we would talk on Skype. On Skype. Totally nothing sexual. All right. So everything's set up here on my end now. So Kev, let's jump into this. Kev,
Sure.
you obviously are a person of show. You do theater. You're very friendly with everyone. People like you for the most part.
Wow.
Well, yeah, right.
It's
So
debatable.
where did you grow up? Where in this world did you were born? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, a town called Cary, Illinois.
Cary?
Cary,
Okay.
Cary, not to be confused with Gary, the home of Michael Jackson.
That's what I thought. And Gary's like Murder City, USA.
Oh.
Is Cary Murder City, USA? I would assume Cary's probably a little nicer than Gary, yeah?
Cary's definitely a little bit nicer. Yeah, it's not like that.
Okay.
Nice stuff.
So you were born there. What did you do like as a kid growing up? Like when you were younger? I mean, did you always do theater as a kid, or you're pretty tall, so I would imagine that you at least did a little basketball or something like that.
Oh
right?
God, no. I mean, I tried out. I remember I tried out for the basketball team in junior high, and the coach who was running it, called me slow mo in front of everybody. I'm not an athlete by any means. My friends used to beat the shit out of me with basketball, like playing basketball. I was not good. I can shoot a good three-pointer.
That's so weird, man. I am same boat. Junior high, I just tried out for basketball, and I'm not athletic. But when I played basketball recently, some games with some friends, man, I don't know how to do anything other than shoot 3-pointers. Like if you put,
me too. I'm so bad with like jump shots and all that shit.
Did you try to do the pick and the roll and all that type stuff, and we're just like, I don't.
I tried.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't. I don't know. After that, I found out about marijuana.
Oh, okay. So you were you were toke. So I guess we'll start on junior high. So junior high, you tried out sports, didn't go so well. You started toking on the marijuana.
Well, I mean, not right away. I wasn't like 12 years old and smoking weed.
No. Well, what was pre marijuana? Kevin like, was he a nice kid? Did everybody like him?
Yeah, pre. Well, I mean, kind of pre. I still continued to do stuff, but when I started high school, I got into the swing choir or show choir. So yeah, I know there are pictures. I can see you laughing at me. There are pictures of me wearing a bow tie and a cummerbund, dancing around like an idiot when I was like 14 years old.
So let's talk about show choir.
I don't know why I brought that up.
Let's talk about show choir. No, you brought it up. Now, I was an orchestra kid. I wasn't a choir kid. I did have to wear the stupid like bright green cummerbund and bright green bow tie as an orchestra, which I don't know. Orchestra and show choir, it's a dead shoot for which of these is more nerdy. Which of these is...
Yeah, which one is not going to get you laid? I think they're both pretty equal, actually. I think they're both... Yeah. Well, I don't know, because you play an instrument, like an orchestra. Like with show choir, you're just like, it's all jazz hands, like you're just... Like, that's not attractive.
Was it your choice to do show choir, or was this your parents like, hey, Kev, you need to be doing something. We're gonna...
It was actually my choice. My older brother went through all that stuff, and I used to love going to watch him do it. So I automatically auditioned when I was a freshman in high school because I thought it was really cool.
You thought that your brother doing it was super cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Now what? Oh, I can hear myself a little bit. Never mind. It went away. Now, when you were doing this, did you have like a favorite routine, a favorite song? Is there anything that you remember? You were like, oh, I still kind of hum this to myself because I did show choir.
What did we used to do? We did. It's a really popular song from the 70s. Listen to the music. I remember that one. Whoa, listen to the music. That one. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite.
You want to give the people a
little classic rock.
You want to give people a little bit more, Kev? It's your chance. This is your
All
American
the
Idol.
time. Gonna let the music play.
Yeah!
That's probably that's what it is. And there's a lot of jazz hands.
I was about to say, now let's break it down, because again, I didn't do show choir. I don't even know that I remember seeing a show choir show. So it's part show, part choir, yeah?
Now, so you're singing and dancing. So it's like Glee.
So you guys were like a Glee club, is that what you're saying?
It's like Glee, only more gay.
But you love Glee. I know you watch Glee.
I don't love Glee.
You
All
don't?
Right, I love Glee.
I was about to say, you fucking love Glee. How can you say that to my face?
Well, now that one guy's dead, I think it's going to be better.
Did you not like him? I never saw the show. Was he
I don't know. I'm sure he was perfectly fine. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm just being mean.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I
He
mean,
died from drugs.
he did. I mean, he had it coming, man. He was a heroin addict.
What's that?
He was a heroin
Yeah.
addict. He had it coming. You know, I mean, you
Yeah.
don't do heroin
He had
and
it coming.
say, well, I mean, you don't do heroin and say, oh man, I'm gonna live to be 140. You know, like that's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
like
he was very sick.
he was very. Yeah, he did heroin. He did a lot of heroin.
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't about Corey Macklin or whatever his name was.
Is that his name?
I think his name was Corey like Macklin or something like that.
Monteith.
Corey Monteith. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So what part of it? So it's singing and dancing. That's the show part. Was there like any theater to it, or was it just straight songs, dance, and then transition to the next like musical number?
Yeah, well, no, it depends because like we did, there was theater stuff too. Like we used to do, and what kind of got me into comedy was we used to do a show every year called Fall Follies, and me and a friend one year wrote the show, and they used the swing choir and the regular choir was like all the high school band, and we wrote a comedy show and it was really funny and and that was it. We just had a good time.
Is swing choir like a choir that does just swing music?
No, it's just what it was called.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't think we ever did any actual swing music.
Yeah, it's so many different kinds of choirs. I don't get this world.
I don't either. I'm confused.
I don't get this world that you're talking about. So that kind of transitions into the comedy part. So you started doing this Folly show. Now, were you writing sketches or just writing?
Yeah, for that show, definitely. It was kind of it was like sort of a skeleton, and then in between we had these little bits. We were really reaching, but it was called The Great American Musical. And it was about these Siamese twins, and one of them falls in love. And I played the one who didn't fall in love, who was just kind of stuck. And it was real silly and fun and stupid. And it was my first experience writing a comedy show.
Now, you're a Siamese twin. In my head, I see you in like a giant sweater with another guy.
It was a big, his mom knitted, it was a sweatshirt. And his mom knitted the two shirts together, like at the shoulder. And so it was really stupid.
I mean, it doesn't sound stupid. It sounds like something you definitely needed to talk to your mother about getting video of and putting on the internet for everyone to see.
I think she's got video of it. She still has like all the old VHSs laying around. I'm old, so it's all on VHS,
Well, hey, my mom VHS everything I did, and she just recently, in the past 2 years, converted it all to DVDs. And she got the machine where she can take VHSs and turn them into DVDs now. So my childhood is now digital. So,
there you go. I don't think mine is yet.
Well, talk to your mom, because if she can get a copy of that, I will gladly throw that up on the Nick Hausman Show.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that happens.
So that people can see it. So what you're describing now, right now, though, with this Folly show that you're writing, it kind of sounds like a Second City styled show. I mean, it was a little bit. Now that I look back, it really it was and I never even seen a Second City show at that point. I didn't even know who they were. I loved SNL when I was growing up. See, that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. You've probably seen a bunch of sketch on SNL, and it just became second nature to you.
Yeah, I used to make my parents tape SNL for me because I couldn't stay up that late, and I would watch it the next day.
Who was your favorite growing up? Who was your favorite SNL guy?
Phil Hartman.
Oh man, that is a sad story. We won't talk about Phil Hartman.
No, because he was great.
He didn't have it coming. Unlike that Glee guy, Phil Hartman should have lived a long and happy, hilarious life.
Yeah.
You just marry one crazy bitch who starts doing cocaine with Andy Dick, and that's what happens.
I know, right?
Fuck Andy Dick, man. Like I met that guy once, and he asked me where the pizza place was, and I literally wanted to be like, "You killed Phil Hartman," but I couldn't do it. I wonder if that happens to him a lot.
He asked a friend of mine in a bathroom in Colorado once where to find cocaine. It was a long time ago.
I'm sure he asked Andy Dick has asked a lot of people where to find cocaine. Did you see him on Celebrity Wife Swap? Kind of an off topic.
No, I've never seen that show. I don't think.
Watch the Andy Dick Celebrity Wife Swap. That man's life is ridiculous. he has a not so attractive wife, but a smoking hot, crazy Latin girlfriend that lives in, I kid you not, a trailer from one of the sets of the movies he did, but he took the trailer home and now it just sits in his driveway, and that's where he like lives and sleeps away from his family. What a what?
I want that life,
dude. It is a fucking mess. Okay, so you started doing these folly shows. You're doing that now. Was this when you kind of transitioned into theater in high school? Is that, or did you not do that transition at all? You just
No, I definitely did. They in my high school, they actually had a really cool theater program. In my high school, it's called Stagecrafters. I think they're still around too. And the first the first play I ever did was You Can't Take It With You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a drama.
What's that?
Isn't that a drama?
It's a comedy. It's kind of a there's some it's kind of a mix, but it definitely, my character was kind of comic relief.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the few. I think, did Arthur Miller write that? I want to say.
No, it's Moss, I believe.
Okay.
He also did Arsenic and Old Lace, which is another play I did the following year. We did the same play.
Were you again kind of the comic foil, or did they ever give you the reins?
I was. That one was the most fun I had. I played a guy who thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt.
A guy who thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, his name's Teddy. He calls himself Teddy. And he says, bully, a lot.
Which you do to this day. Which you still
I do. I still do it.
Now, your brother, I know, is an actor, and he performs Shakespeare and stuff. Were you ever, like, influenced by him? Did he ever work with you while you're doing theater, that sort of thing?
I've never really been interested in doing, like, Shakespeare or anything like that. I definitely do it. I use it like doing improv and stuff. But
I was more talking about, like, because I don't know how close you guys are in age. I think you guys are pretty close. But like, would you ever come home and work like a monologue or like talk to him about acting tips or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. He actually he has helped me learn lines and vice versa. I used to help him learn lines too and stuff. So he doesn't do a lot of acting so much anymore. He's got 2 kids, but he's more of a playwright. He's writing and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're doing this, and I can kind of do you have like the is there like a way that, I don't know, I can hear myself occasionally, like right now it's just popping, but whatever, move on. Yeah, I don't know, I can't fix it. I don't think you can either. So you're doing the theater, you're started up now. Were your intentions in high school to go into theater in college, or did you have other intentions out of high school?
By the end of high school, when I was like a junior and senior, I really hated school. So I didn't really think I was going to end up going to college, and my brother did. I just didn't really, I tried to go to like a community college, but I hated it. I hated school. So, yeah. And then a friend of mine took me to a Second City class, and I came out and saw that, and then I started taking classes and moved out here, and that's that.
And that was it. So let's go back real fast to the college thing, because I always think it's very interesting when people don't go to college, because I did go to college for a while, but I did not wind up graduating, because I'm with you. I just get very bored in school. I'm not a good student. I can't sit there. I have to be doing. I don't like books. I don't like sitting there listening to people. I have to be doing. So what was it? So you weren't a good student in high school. Is that it? Was that because you started smoking? Oh
God, no! I was the worst. I mean, I would cut a lot. I wouldn't go. I ended up actually not graduating on time technically because I was missing so many credits. So I didn't even get to go to my graduation ceremony. Oh, my parents had family come out from overseas. My mom's from Germany, so I had family from overseas come out for a big graduation party. And then, like, the day before, I found out that I'm not eligible to graduate.
Oh, were they all, like, super disappointed? Were they all like,
oh God, it was horrible. It was the worst. I didn't, it was not fun.
That sounds terrible, Kev. I'm so sad to hear that. I'm so sad to hear that.
Oh, dude, it was so worth it.
Did they bring presents and stuff for your graduation? And
they brought money. And like a lot of my relatives, we're like, we're not going to give you this until after you get your diploma. So, like, all right, thanks for coming.
Yeah, you guys want a hot dog? You guys want some food? Okay, so then you say that you tried the community college thing.
I did for about a year and a half. I had to go because I had to go and get the credits for my diploma. And I really only needed 1 credit. So I went and took that class. I got my diploma and I stayed. And then I didn't want to spend my parents' money anymore. I hated it. So I told them I wanted to quit. And,
Your parents were footing the bill for your education?
Yeah. I mean, they were. I was 18 years old. I didn't have the money for it.
Yeah. That's what
my parents footed the bill until I was 30.
But you weren't in college those years, Kev. You were just alive doing comedy. So you're now. So you go to the Second City show. How old were you when you first saw Second City? 19, 20 then?
I was 19. Yes.
All right. And so first show you saw. Or did you see a show or did you do classes first?
Well, I did actually. I saw a show around the same time because that was when Second City had a theater out in the suburbs. And me and a friend went and saw it, and it was very cool. I loved it, and I wanted to perform there.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I mean, it sounds like you've been kind of writing sketches and enjoying comedy since you were a little kid. This seems like a nice, natural little spinoff.
Yeah.
Had you done like improv or anything in high school? Did you have like an improv team or anything like that?
No. That was one thing they did not have in my high school. There was no improv program. Mm-hmm. Nowadays they probably do. I would assume, but they didn't have it back then. So I didn't really know anything about that until I actually went to a Second City class.
Now you go to your Second City class, dude. And by the way, are you moving the microphone around or something like that?
No, I'm not. Yeah, you're cutting out too a little bit. I'm not moving anything.
Okay, well, let's hope this turns out well, Kev.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So you walk into a Second City class for the first time. What's your impression after class 1? Like, are you confused? Are you excited? How are you feeling about this?
I was real excited. It was the class. The teacher was Brian Posen, who runs Stage 773 now.
Man,
and it was real fun, real energetic. And I wanted to do it, so I immediately enrolled.
And now, was this back when Second City had like A through E and then conservatory, or was this just like a different program that was set up then?
This was level A. This was the beginner program.
Now, did you go all the way? Because for those that don't know that are listening to the show, like Second City has an A through E program, which is like an introductory program, and then after that they have like the conservatory, which is like a doctorate program, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, later on I went through conservatory. I auditioned and did all that. But yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of the teachers that you had real fast. So anybody from A through E, Brian Posen, obviously you like Posen, you enjoy his style?
I did. And then, I never had him as a teacher. That was just a class I sat in on to kind of check it out. But then my first teacher was Jack McBrayer. See,
that's what I was getting at. I got to tell a story real fast because you said the name I wanted to hear. Was it your birthday or what was it when we wanted to go to the Ginger's Ale House? And I said, I don't want to go to Ginger's Ale House.
Old Town Ale House.
Old Town Ale House,
yeah.
Old Town Ale House. I said, I don't want to go to Old Town Ale House unless you can introduce me to somebody famous, because I knew it was across from. So you're like, don't worry about it. We'll have fun when we get there. Well, we walk into this Old Town Ale House, and I don't even know that we had beers in our hand yet, but we had been in there about a minute, and within a minute, and this is like 30 Rock is hot. This was only like 2-3 years ago. Jack McBrayer walks up and is like, "Hey, pomegranate," and I was like, "Oh shit!" And like he had a funny nickname for you. Like you guys had a good rapport. What was it like learning from Jack McBrayer? And did you always get the impression from Jack that this is a guy who's gonna succeed? Like he's gonna be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because I also, I mean, not only I had him for a class, which he was great. He taught us a lot of physical stuff. But I also worked at Second City later on, and he was on their ETC stage. So I got to watch him every night. And then he moved to New York soon after and got a job on Conan O'Brien. So we would go and watch him on Conan play characters. And yeah, I mean, we all knew he was gonna be just fine.
Was there any other teachers that you really remember from that A through E program that either you liked, you didn't like? I mean, I'm not looking
to be honest, I only took A and B, and then I started working there, and this was like a year after I finished B, and then I lied to them and told them I went through E, so I could audition for conservatory, and they believed me, and so I got in.
You would think that they'd maybe do like a cross check or something, like, hey,
Well,
don't we have
how?
records?
Yeah, that's why my thing was, I'm like, I don't know how they're going to check that out, like, so sure enough, I managed to weasel my way into conservatory.
Now, is it a requirement? I didn't think you had to do A through E to do conservatory. Is that something?
Yeah,
that's
you
always
have to
changed?
have some beginning level experience. I don't think the rule is to go through their entire program, but like any program, whether it be IO or annoyance or anything like that. But I at that point I hadn't. I just
Right.
had
'Cause
done A and B.
you hadn't done any improv, really, so this was your training. So what did you notice a difference? And again, I have never, or not again for the first time, I've never gone through Second City. That's the only real program I haven't done. Do you feel a big difference between like the A through E and the conservatory? Because to me, I mean, I've done a lot of improv classes, and I've never really felt, a huge difference. I don't want to say like in styles, but they all.
I think
kind
with
of
Second
blend.
City it's a little different because once you get into conservatory, that's when they're teaching you how to create a Second City style show. Because the way they do their shows is most of their original shows are built through improv, and then they kind of tighten it up and write sketches around that. So in conservatory, a lot of it was kind of learning how to make a show or create a show that in that fashion.
Well, sure, yeah. Let's give the people at home a little education then real fast, because I know I get a lot of questions about Second City from family members and just people that are like, "Oh, you do comedy in the city? What's Second City like?" And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I don't do anything with those people. So when you say crafting a Second City show, what is that process like? Does it start with somebody throws out an idea, then you guys start doing some scenes, kind of take the scenes that you liked, and then start writing?
Yeah,
Based
I mean,
on
well,
those
I've never been
scenes?
in the professional ensemble at Second City, but I can speak for conservatory. The way we did it, it was level 1 through 5, and we would just, they would kind of teach you like, all right, we're going to improvise some scenes, and then by the time you got to level 4, that was when you would actually be like, hey, that was a really funny scene. Let's write that out and put that in our final graduation show. So we would just, that's how we would do it, but.
I don't mean to cut you off, but now when you choose a scene to write about, do you find that the scene gets better when you write it, or do you find that it kind of loses something? Because I'm such an improv purist, I can't imagine taking a scene that I just did, like our infamous Pomadix scene we did in the Duel a few years
Infamous.
ago.
People
Hello?
still talk about it.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, so this actually worked. It sounds pretty decent. So we're just gonna record with this for the
Okay.
outro here. So sorry about that, everyone. Kevin's Skype crashed, or the microphone crashed. We're not really sure. So we had to cut the interview short, and we don't know how to fix it. And Kevin's got to go to work. So we're gonna cut to the end here, Kev. The interview's over.
All right.
Okay, good. Yeah, next time you come on, we'll start off at Pomadix, and I'll remember that because it's one of my favorite memories of you is the Pomadix sketch.
It was a brilliant 10 minutes of improvisation.
I don't know how we lost the duel that night. I'm starting to blow the story. People might have thought we won. Nobody thought we won. All right. So Kev, real fast before I let you go off the line here, tell everyone where they can find you online if you'd like them to follow you online, and some shows or maybe some other stuff you'd like to plug. This is your plug point, so go ahead.
Yeah, man. I guess I'm on the Twitters at KevPom. You can just find me at KevPom, I believe. I think that's right. Yeah. And then shows. I'm in a show called Talk Hard on Friday nights at Comedy Sports. I also do the regular ensemble over there, and then I also we're going to be doing the Stevens Family in Cleveland, Ohio. It's another show I'm involved in for the Big Little Comedy Festival. And yeah, that's all I got going on right now.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot, man. That's a lot of shows. That's a lot of shows. You're busy pretty much every night. You don't have a lot of nights off. So
I don't, yeah, and not right now.
Including right now. You're supposed to be going to work right now, so, you know.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
I have, I got that, and I also got the Talk Hard show tonight, so I'm going to be there for that. But, yeah. Good times. Could be worse.
Great times. All right, dude. Well, thanks again for coming on. We'll start with Pomodix at the next interview, and enjoy your night, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. I'll see you, Hausman.
All right, bye.
Love you.
You too. Kisses.
Mwah.
And that was my interview with Kevin Pomeroy. I really like that one. I'm kind of bummed it cut off where it did because the Pomodix story is such a good story. It was such a great scene. And I've done so many improv scenes in my life, and there are very few that I just remember, like, vividly. And I remember doing that Pomodix improv scene, like, just like it was yesterday. It's such a great scene. And I can't imagine writing it down. Maybe I should write it down. I probably won't, you know. All right, well, this is the part of the show where I talk about all the social media stuff that's been going on with you guys, because we do like to have a lot of fun on the internet. Let's start over on the Facebook.com/Nick Hausman Show. You can go like that. Now, one of the things that I've seen recently, we'll go backwards. There was a water spout that was caught over Lake Michigan, and I put video up of it on the Facebook page, and it's gigantic. I saw a water spout one time off of Loyola. When I was at Loyola, I saw it over Lake Michigan, and it was so cool, but it wasn't this big. This thing is terrifying, but it's nice because if you're not in the water, then, you know, there's not a big deal, because it's not like a tornado. It's not going to come onto the land. It's going to stay over the water, but it looks so cool. Dree Elfreen commented, "Oh gosh, you know," which is in comment, I think, to one of the Midwestern people doing commentary. Plug the Stevens Family Show. That was last night. That was the last one for a while. Kevin, of course, talked about that. So catch them down in Cleveland if you can. Put up the last one with Jesse Corrigan, and just got a lot of likes. By the way, the Jesse episode, thank you guys so much for putting up with all of the what happened with it. When we put it up, I put Space Boy at the end. I used a Chemical Brothers song in the intro. I did a lot of illegal things musically with that song, so of course it got pulled, and I learned a lesson. We're only going to use, music that can legally be used now. We're not going to use any copyrighted music anymore, so no more. If you have, but here's what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and say this. If you have a band out there, if you've got original music, if you're a DJ and you're like, I would like some of my music to be featured on the Nick Hausman Show, send it to me. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Let me play it. Let's plug you. If I can't necessarily have you on to interview you, because I have the next few interviews lined up, but I could definitely plug your stuff. I could plug your music, and I'd like to incorporate more musicians into the Nick Hausman Show. All right. Let's go over to Twitter now. A lot more things happen on Twitter than on Facebook. We're all I don't know what it is Twitter-wise, but it's Twitter's popping. All right, so the last show got posted. What's today? The 13th. So the last show got posted on the 6th. Let's see. I think I can do this. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna start here. I have been posting pictures on Twitter of Darin's cat Precious in a box that he has taken up, and they're very cute, funny pictures. They're cat pictures on the internet, people. You're gonna love them. But I've been tweeting them to Precious. The cat's name is Precious, and Precious actually has a YouTube, or not a YouTube, but a Twitter handle, and it's at Precious is a cat, and Precious is a cat. She tweets me. She tweets me back. I said, I meant to say chilling in a box, and I actually wrote on autotype, coming in a box. Precious said that's gross, which it was. Wrong way to say that. Victor, thank me for putting up the last show. No problem, Victor. Barcinas, thank you again for your support. David Grooms. David Grooms and I have been, I watched Total Divas. I talk a little bit about that in the Overrun, which I'm not supposed to talk about, but if you stick around and listen to a little bit after the show, there's going to be a secret track. But on Total Divas this week, Vince McMahon was on the show for the first time, and he looked like I think he was shaking the hands of It was JoJo. Yeah, JoJo and the Funkadactyls. He looked like he was going to eat them. He just looked like he did not want to be on the show. He looked like he was looking at them like they were disposable, I felt, but I didn't want to tweet that because I thought it was a little maybe mean, but I said it on the show, so whatever. But yeah, watch Total Divas. Comment on tweet me about Total Divas. It's again, I'm at Nick Hausman Show, or you can use hashtag Hausmania, HAUSMANIA. Victor Barcinas, holy shit, thank you for the shout out, dude. Great episode. Thank you. And Victor also said that his best customer service experience has been with T-Mobile. And then he actually also added at T-Mobile Help. So I'm a T-Mobile user. I've been on and off with their customer service, but if you're thinking about changing plans, maybe Victor's onto something. Ash Vuitton, he favorited a tweet of mine saying, I would love to have the Weedman JCW on my show. It'll happen, right? Kurt, the guy who plays the Wade Man at Juggalo Championship Wrestling for the Insane Clown Posse, is a friend of mine. His name is Kurt. And, yeah, I would love to have Kurt on the show. Yeah, I think he actually retweeted this a while back, too. So, Kurt, if you're listening, or somebody that knows Kurt's listening, I guess I could just reach out to him myself. I already kind of know who the next 2-3 guests are going to be. So, I don't want to line up too many people in a row. But, Kurt, yes, down the road, I want to talk to you about all the Insane Clown Posse, Jesus. Yeah, and if you got any questions about ICP, let's just start racking them up so that when Kurt comes on, we can ask him all kinds of questions. Sherman Edwards retweeted the last episode. Thank you, Sherman. Some people random people, just this girl, Kelly Plant, favorited a tweet of mine. He had Martin Short on, and I said, he's awesome. Have you seen Clifford? Yes, I was very impressed. I just tweeting some people, random people. This girl, Mary Cheely, tweeted about me. When I said the Chargers, please take a moment to chill out. This is supposed to be the start of the Houston Texans season. It's not yours. Oh my God, I tweeted that. The Texans totally turned it around. I don't want to say my tweet turned that Texans game around on Monday night, and if you didn't see it, you missed out. But it might have. Maybe this Mary Cheely girl is like a cheerleader or something. Stuck some place in. I don't know. Cool Matt Stricker and I started a conversation on the internet also about the Texans. Why did I bench, Rivers this week? Blah, blah, blah. We had some, you can follow. It's just a bunch of fantasy football jargon. I don't know. Cool Matt Stricker, thank you for listening. Thank you for exchanging with me, but I don't know if all these people really care about our fantasy teams, right? I tweeted out a question. I ask questions to everybody occasionally. Asking where should I take my dad to dinner. My dad was in town, and she said medieval times. It's dinner and a show. And I said we already went when we were in Vegas. And then she said, but maybe a different night will win this time. Malcolm West tweeted me back. Enjoy, guys. Oh, and he just tweeted it back. Oh, that's cool. Thank you, Malcolm West. I believe Malcolm West is actually going to be on the show here sooner than later. I've told Malcolm. I told him, I've already got the next few guests lined up, but maybe we can do something with you. And I'm thinking maybe in this Overrun thing, I'm totally not supposed to talk about that's going on after the show, after the a little break. There's this after show, but Malcolm is involved in the pro wrestling world. He works for Resistance Pro. Maybe we can have him on the Overrun. Maybe he can make an appearance there. Maybe he could do like a little recap show on the Resistance shows for us, which I think would be very fun because then we could ask questions about the booking. Like, why did this happen? And then maybe he can give me an answer. I don't know. Hearts. All right. She said, Heidi Steiner also said that I should get a job and we can go eat at this place. Oh, great. Thank you. Yes. Another woman asking me to take them out on pay for a meal. Jamie Campbell. Oh, right. I sent out a message. I went and saw an open mic the other day at the Abbey Pub. It's the Flabby Hoffman Hour. It was a good show. I actually suggested if you're looking for a good stand-up showcase, I enjoyed it. My friend Dree, her brother Matt, was performing there, and so we went and checked it out. There was these two kids in the front row that I think were on acid. They look like skater kids, just skater punks. One of them had just got out of prison. His little skater acid trip girlfriend was so proud. And then the comics, of course, kept referencing that all night. But they laughed at everything. They laughed at things that weren't even jokes, just statements. They thought them were hilarious. And I said to Jamie Campbell and Matt and Sherman, all my stand-up buddies, how do you handle two kids, that I think are on LSD in the front row? And Jamie Campbell said, there's an open mic on Lakeshore Drive. Funny. And and Sherman said, remember when Jesse gave that meth head a shovel? Hashtag Breaking Bad. Hashtag something like that. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't watch Breaking Bad, though. I know, don't throw stones. I went to Riddle Me That last night. My weekly game show, bar trivia thing. Chicago Events actually saw my tweet about it, and they retweeted it, so good for them. They said game added, so they've been added to the Chicago Events calendar, and I still want to continue to plug Riddle Me That. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Come out, have fun, play games with me. An old teammate of mine, Travis Tack, and I, we got back and forth into a conversation. When we were down in the first half, he said it's because I'm not there, and then when we said we won, you could go read it. Go read the Twitter page, guys. It's at Nick Hausman Show, and if you tweet me, there's a damn good chance I'm going to talk about you here at the end of the show. Until this gets outrageous and too many people are tweeting or Facebooking me, then I'm going to start to get selective, guys. Then I'm going to, because this segment already went way longer than I thought it was going to go. This is already 10 minutes. But, whatever. I want to try to give credit to everybody who's helping to support the show and get things going. All right, so I guess that's it. So this is the end of the show. Thanks so much again for listening, guys. Again, if you want to like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Nick Hausman Show, please share the page on your wall. Let people know you're listening. Encourage them to like the page. It helps out a lot. I'd like to work towards sponsorships, and the quicker we can let the world know people are listening and paying attention, the quicker, we're going to get some people on board to be able to take this to the next level. Because, in order to really do this podcast thing right, I'm going to need some De Niro. And I think it's a pretty good quality right now, but it's going to get better, and I want better distribution, but it's going to cost a pretty penny, so I'd like to pay that out of sponsorship money, so the quicker I can get to sponsorships, the quicker we're going to get to upgrades, guys. All right, and the Twitter page, of course, Twitter at Nick Hausman Show. Go follow me there. All kinds of fun craziness going on. All right, that's the end of the show. Thanks so much, guys. I'm not going to announce the guest this week. I'm going to keep it a surprise. If you want to know who the guest is going to be for the next show, start following the Facebook page and the Twitter page. That's where I post all this stuff. And, all right, that's it. I'm kind of exhausted, so I'm sorry. This is, again, kind of a sloppy outro. I'm really bad at these, at least the last part of it. But thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye. Yeah, it's time to get a little bit of that overrun action in your life. Talk a little pro wrestling with Nick and Darin. And this is the Overrun, the first Overrun of the Nick Hausman Show. This is where I talk with my buddy Darin Fentress from episode... You were 3, right?
Yes, I was.
Episode number 3. We're going to talk mostly wrestling in the Overrun here. Maybe other things over time. I got to ask you first, Darin, do you like the intro song I picked for the Overrun? Do you like the song I played before the Overrun?
I haven't gotten to hear the song. I haven't gotten to hear any of the interview. I don't even think you recorded the interview yet.
No.
We're cart before the horse.
Yeah, I was supposed to interview Kevin today, but Kevin got busy with work. So I got to interview him tomorrow. So I'm actually getting this part of the show done early because I would like to talk to you about the interview. But you already know Kevin; he's your roommate.
Yeah, I mean, you could interview me as Kevin.
How about we just talk about Kevin?
Sup, guys?
Hey guys, what's going on? You guys want to play some frisbee golf?
You guys want to watch me do some Stevens Family?
He doesn't ask me that because they play.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
We won't get into that.
Is there any beer left?
Don't say that. He hates that.
I know. I'm just giving him a hard time.
He hates that. Don't say that. All right, so let's jump into the. We kind of talked about Kev. We kind of talked about the Kev interview. I hate this chair. This chair's real creaky. That's fine. At least I pointed it out. I won't move as much.
All right. Yeah, you just gotta sit still.
I'll sit still. This is only gonna be like a 10, 15, 20-minute thing. I don't know. It's the Overrun. Anything goes at the Overrun, Darin. We can do anything we like.
I'm gonna slap you in the face.
Except that. Let's not do that. Oh, but wait. We could. Oh, shit. I should have played along with it. I could have gone.
Ah, dude.
Well, I did. Oh, see, then I slapped you.
Yeah, that was backwards. Right?
That's much funnier. Okay. This is a great start to the Overrun, Darin. This is a great start. So let's talk about the thing that inspired this Overrun. We had a conversation about the new relationship in the WWE, and you're not going to see it on Total Divas. This isn't Natty and Tyson Kidd. This isn't John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and whichever Bella, their wife swapping that day. This is about Titus O'Neil, the non-gay primetime player, because he is now dating Celebrity Apprentice star, actually original Apprentice star before Celebrity Apprentice. She became a celebrity kind of, well, I wouldn't say celebrity, but she became a somebody from the original Apprentice, and that's Omarosa.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Omarosa dating Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because Omarosa notoriously, famously dated Michael Clark Duncan from the...
Married Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh, that's right. She married Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, they were married.
They were married, that's right. So she was married to Michael Clark Duncan, and he passed away from cancer?
I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. We should look that up.
We should have looked that up.
We're not professionals. We don't have the skinny on Michael Clark Duncan's death.
Yeah, it's really not important to the overall story, because the overall story is Omarosa. She loses Michael Clark Duncan, and she's probably very sad about this. And she's very good friends with Donald Trump.
And that's interesting, because Donald Trump is like best buds. They're like in the Billionaires Club with Vince McMahon, who runs the whole show at the WWE.
Right.
So Omarosa is like Donald Trump's best friend, and Titus O'Neil works for Vince McMahon.
Right. And he's a real primetime player now, because he's associated with Darren Young, who's very popular right now. He came out on TMZ, first openly gay current roster pro wrestler. He's actually going to be on Ellen tomorrow.
That's very cool.
Isn't it? Yeah, he's going to be on. So he's like daytime player.
And I just want to say about that, the whole way this came about and the whole way that they're pushing this right now, it's just a fact about Darren Young. It's not Darren Young's character is all of a sudden grabbing guys' asses and being, woohoo, I'm gay, everybody. You know, I mean, he's playing it straight. He's playing it like himself. And it's just an interesting fact about Darren Young, the first openly gay wrestler in the WWE.
I thought I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that you said he's playing it straight. You know, maybe not the best. That makes him sound like he's closeted a bit in the WWE.
That's not the way that I meant the term straight. But I think everybody understands where I was coming with that.
I know. Okay, so anyway, so So we started to hypothesize, well, maybe Donald Trump sees how sad Omarosa is, and he's hanging out with Vince McMahon, and they're on let's say they're on a private jet. They're going to Ecuador, because that's a cool place to go, right?
Okay.
Okay, they're just chilling, all right, on some weekend off, all right? Vince is like, I'm not going on the house show loop tonight. I'm going to Ecuador with Donald Trump. He's opening a new golf course down there. We go chill with the Trump, okay? We don't know that that's fact at all. That's just something I made up. Well, anyway, they're talking. Hypothesizing. So they're talking, they're hanging out, and Donald Trump's like, hey, Vince, I got this thing on my mind. My girl Omarosa, she's down because her husband, Michael Clark Duncan, just passed away.
Oh, Michael Clark Duncan. Oh, he's a real big fella. Wanted him in the WWE.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish she could find somebody like him, that she could maybe move on. Hey, Vince, you got any big guys that maybe look like Michael Clark Duncan?
I have a big black guy named Titus O'Neil.
Oh, okay.
I don't sound anything like Vince, do I?
No, God damn it. He's got a puke. So we think that maybe Vince McMahon, Donald Trump decide to play matchmaker. Now, you could not pick two guys that you would predict to be these guys are not going to be matchmakers. You would not think these guys would be matchmakers, right? But it could have happened. And Donald Trump picks up the phone, calls Omarosa. Vince calls his secretary to call Titus O'Neil. He doesn't deal with talent directly. Can
you imagine they put him like on a blind date or something? Like they both show up and they think that they're meeting somebody else or something, and then they both show up and they're like, "Oh, hey, well, Omarosa, hey, Titus."
Well, I mean, I bet that they're very happy together. I bet that this is, they probably met at an event, honestly, where they were, they're both NBC USA, NBC Universal. They're both part of the same kind of umbrella. They probably didn't meet the way that we would have liked them to have met, which is Vince McMahon and Donald Trump acting like schoolgirls on a private jet, making phone calls and text messages to them.
Ooh, who can we set up this week?
Oh, I think let's do Overrun and Titus O'Neil. It would have worked out, but with the new Total Divas stuff coming up, the season they got another season. It's been renewed. They're going to do it again. Do you think that there's obviously with Omarosa, NBC Universal, Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, unfortunately, because I love Celebrity Apprentice, I know that it actually got pushed back, so it's not going to be back as soon as they thought it was going to be back.
Well, is she even going to be back on the show again? Are they doing another All-Stars this time? Or?
She will be on that show until she wins. I think she's been on the last 3 seasons.
No, she wasn't on 2 seasons ago. I remember that.
Well, she was on at least the last 2 seasons.
No, not the second. No, not the one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, but Omarosa, yes, she's all over that show. I can see her, actually, she is a total diva.
Right, dude, I mean, she is a diva, man. She's starting fights all the time. She knows how to work the reality game. Maybe, she's a little old. I don't want to say she's real old because she's not that old, but she's a little old to maybe be competing in the divas division. But she could be like a Vicky Guerrero.
Exactly,
She could totally be like a Vicky Guerrero. Because I would love to see her and Titus backstage. Maybe that's the heel turn. Maybe Titus goes heel with Omarosa and Darin Young gets the push. Because you got to think that they're not going to keep these guys together for much longer. I mean, Darin Young is going to...
For a while, I would say. I mean, I would like to actually see the primetime players get the tag titles. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're getting a push.
I think they'll get the tag titles at the pre-show, because there's going to be a 5 tag team, turmoil match at the pre-show for Night of Champions this Sunday. I could see them get the titles there, but I would think, if in a perfect world, Omarosa comes in with Titus O'Neil. Ura. By the way, Heath Slater. Did you see the Heath Slater?
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
What was that? Raw or SmackDown?
I just cussed. Can we cuss on the?
That's fine. You can say anything you want. Yeah, it's the
all right.
There's no rules here. But did that happen on Raw or SmackDown where Heath Slater did the ura to him?
I don't remember what show, but I remember it being hilarious.
Yes, it was very, very funny. So in a perfect world, though, I would like to see Omarosa comes in, somehow partners with Titus as like a manager type Vicky Guerrero role. They turn heel on Darin Young. He's jealous of all the attention that Darin Young's been getting. And he's like, no, I deserve this attention now.
I'm the primetime player.
Oh, dude! Who is the primetime player?
Who is the primest time player?
Who is the primest of the time player? Yeah, I went too far with that bit. You capped it at the right time.
Okay, we got it.
We got it. But I think that would be an interesting feud. And then you could work Omarosa into the Total Diva show if she's on the road with the WWE. But you can't just, because you would really be working her in via Tyson O'Neill, and he's not a total diva, you know.
Omarosa, the gal you love to hate.
I think it'd be great. So that actually went like a perfect 10 minutes that we just had that conversation. Is there anything else that you want to talk about in the world of wrestling that's got your mind ticking right now?
No, there isn't.
You got any predictions for Night of Champions? You think Daniel Bryan's going to win? Oh, I'll bring this up. I was thinking about this on the walk here. Well, we got a few more while we got the mic going. So Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, okay? Do you think they're going to put the title on Bryan?
No.
I don't either. Man, and that is really cutting the legs out from under him. They're just beating him up for if you do 4 weeks, he's gotten beaten up on Raw and SmackDown just about every week for 4 weeks. That's 8 beatdowns in 4 weeks, and then this guy's going to lose to Randy Orton. Do you think it's a clean loss, or do you think it's a fuck finish?
Oh, it's definitely going to be a fuck finish. I mean, we've got the whole corporation going on right now. Daniel Bryan beat Randy Orton on Raw shortly before he was really pushed to this main event status. That was a big thing. He's like, I'm not the weakest link. I'm not the weakest link. And then he beat Randy Orton to prove it. They shook hands afterwards. So we know in a clean, fair fight, he can pull out the victory. And as hot as he is, I think he would. But with this whole corporation thing, we got to keep the storyline going. You know, Triple H, Stephanie, they're super heels now. They're fucking with the entire locker room. It's gonna keep going in that direction. Now, I don't think you then buried Daniel Bryan, and I think he stays in this main event picture for a while at least.
From what I've read, they're going to try to do it the next 3 pay-per-views. So I think it's this one, then Hell in a Cell.
He'll probably get the championship, let's say, by Survivor Series.
Yeah, so I think it would be this, Hell in a Cell, and then I think it is Survivor Series. Now I'm going on a limb. This is just a guess. I'm feeling like a Montreal Screwjob type finish coming. We haven't seen Vince McMahon since the last pay-per-view. We don't know where he stands on anything. Maybe he sees something that's about to go down. Daniel Bryan somehow puts everybody out of the corporation out, and Vince is the only one left, and he just does business the way he knows how to do what's best for business. He does how he fucked over Brett.
I don't know. We've seen variations of the Montreal Screwjob quite a bit. I think we're going to see a variation of a Big Show heel turn yet again, is what I'm predicting. Because Big Show's been super crybaby backstage this whole time. Oh man, it hurt Daniel Bryan. I'm going to cry about it.
Well, no, to be fair, he's just crying because they're teasing his new finish. And that's where he cries into a corner and then literally drowns you in his giant tears. Yeah, it's a build up to his new finishing move, Death Pool. Coined by me, the Death Pool finisher.
Did you just make that up?
I just thought of that. Okay. Death Pool, I think, is a band, actually. I think it's a metal band called Death Pool.
Or Deadpool. No,
Deadpool.
I think that's a book by Stephen King.
Okay, well, either way, it came to me, and it would make a lot of sense to Death Pool, but I don't think they can say death after the.
Oh, that's also a comic book character.
Yep, I know I did. Oh, Deadpool. Death Pool. I don't know if Death Pool's a thing. That's the Big Show finisher.
Okay.
And also, one more thing I was thinking about. I saw a picture today of, you know how Bray Wyatt does that thing where he grabs the corners before a match, he, like, bends backwards in the ring? Mm-hmm. You know why he does that?
No.
Why does he do that? He's bending over backwards to make this gimmick work because the writing's terrible.
Oh, come on. Now, they're going to reintroduce Kane soon. It's going to be fun.
You think so?
I think so. They're going to reintroduce Kane, and he's going to totally have been, like, brain-warped by the Wyatt family, and he's going to be their big heavy.
I hope so. That would be great. You know what I think that, in retrospect, the Bray Wyatt character needed was mystical powers. You know, I think if you're going to call yourself a demon and put yourself on the same level as a demon, Kane's shot lightning out of his hands before. He can bring fire out of the ring. Why can't Bray Wyatt throw a lightning bolt or fucking, freeze somebody with a freeze ray or some shit like that?
Well, because number one, it's not Mortal Kombat, but his superpower, is, his ability to manipulate people. He's like a cult leader.
Do you think that he's Katie Vick's brother? Because I do.
I don't know who Katie Vick is.
Katie Vick was Kane's girlfriend who died in a fire, tragically, that he started.
Oh, that's right. That was that silly storyline when he was feuding with Triple H, right?
Yeah, then Triple H fucked a corpse and, made jokes about it. That he, laid in a casket with Katie Vick.
That's right. Oh, man, he didn't...
He said, I think that, I forget exactly the line, but it said something along the lines of,
oh boy, am I stiff or something like that, or she made me stiff. I don't know. It's a corpse. He made corpse jokes. He was a necrophiliac. Triple H was a necrophiliac. Let's not forget that, people. Let's not forget that. All right. Well, I think that's a good end for
That's
the.
that's the note you want to leave all of the Nick Hausman Show fans. Triple H necrophilia. We will see you next week on the Nick Hausman Show.
On the next Overrun. On the next, we're trying to pretend like this is a secret track, like, you know.
Oh yeah.
This
You should put this exactly 3 minutes after the end of the interview session.
What I'm going to do now, I guess I'll talk about this real fast. Not that I won't have already talked about the beginning of the show, but I'm going to do the intro now, my rant, then the interview, then I'm going to do a block at the end where I go over all of the social networking activity from the week, all my Twitter shout-outs, all the Facebook shout-outs. I've been doing it at the top of the show, but it's too long of an intro. It took 18 minutes last show. So I'm just going to do the rant, interview, social networking. Then we all take a 3-minute break to piss and smoke a cigarette, and then we do the Overrun. Collectively, once the show's over, you can take a leak. I smoke a part of a cigarette, and you can come listen to Darin and I talk about wrestling.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good show. And I promise that I am still working on getting this on iTunes. I'm getting, I see a lot of people post anybody can do a podcast these days, and it's just not true, guys. It's fucking complicated.
Nick is having a hard time with it.
It's fucking complicated. All right.
Until then,
Yes.
the Nick Hausman Show, as always, on YouTube.
On YouTube, the place for podcasts. The world's largest video service, YouTube. Ugh. All right. Well, the neighbors appear to be starting a gang fight, so that's good.
Yeah, they're getting rowdy out there.
They're getting rowdy. This is not a real gang. This is a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is a nice neighborhood.
But they are getting rowdy.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for having me on your Overrun.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again when available. I can't say we'll do this every week because you're busy. You have a job now and everything, but we can probably pump out 15 minutes a week somehow.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't see a reason not to either. All right, guys. We're in it to win it. All night long. Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call.
Bye, everybody.